Hi folks, welcome to episode 10 of I Teach You, the internet, the show where I pretend to teach my little sister Jenna stuff about the internet, but I think Jenna teaches me more. But that's my secret. This whole thing is just a way for me to stay hip and cool. Isn't that right, Jenna?
Yes, it is, Tony.
So does that mean I'm hip and cool?
That's so awkward. Yeah, you are hip and cool.
I make you say that to be on the show. All right.
What?
So I made you say that, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no. I have to convince my little sister that I'm cool. But all of our listeners are going to be cool. Like, they're already cool, but they're going to be extra cool because we're going to have an awesome show for them today. And they're going to have more.
And because it's Monday Monday is Monday, we're here to make your Monday better.
That's right. I like it. Monday is Monday, Jenna. That is so correct. So, it's the end of Monday, but we're just going to make the whole week really great. That's the kind of show this is.
Yep.
Yeah, you should listen to it every day, like just the same ones you could listen to over and over. They're still good.
I'll probably get annoyed of myself.
No, I don't think that's possible. So let's start with the past. Let's recap a little bit of what happened last week. Do you have any news on what happened last week?
So last week we talked about the future of Pokemon Go and stuff like that. And right after that episode came out, I've been fighting with people on Twitter.
What?
Because I talked about hacking. I got 28 likes on this one, so I'm good.
Oh.
So I posted a picture of me watching a YouTube video, and the title was tips to catch all rare Pokemon Go hack Android plus iOS. And it was by a YouTuber. I mean, I like him as a person, but I don't like that he hacks and stuff. So, my favorite YouTuber, Mystic7, liked it, and he replied, take down the vid Niantic. And so then, people are most people are on my side, but there were a few people why do you have to be mad about it? It's their choice. And I said well, it affects us and stuff, and and it will affect us more in the future just because the trading and stuff will come out. And then, isn't it people's choice? Who are you to decide if you can spoof or not? Well, I'm it takes away the fun of the game, which with gyms, and when trading comes out, every spoofer is going to trade as 3,000 Tyranitar, and then everyone has one, and that's going to ruin gyms. And plus, gyms are already bad enough, but we know that they're going to have a future update to rework gyms, and then when trading comes out after that, then the reworked gyms will not be fun anymore. And then they are trying to, they're trying to fix it, but once again, they're not trying hard enough.
Right, so this is a thing about... So you were complaining that people are hacking, they're ruining the game. People are saying, don't worry about it, mind your own business, let people enjoy it the way they want. So if this was a single-player game, I would agree with them. I would say, yeah, play it however you want to play it. If you want to put the cheats in to give you 99 lives in Mario, I don't know if you know, but Mario's a video game character.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, that's just... and I've done it in the past. Fine, that's how you want to play the game. But it becomes different when it is a multiplayer and a social game.
Yes. And, I mean, I know you have to be right next to someone to trade, but I don't know if this is true or not, but people were saying that Pokemon Go is going to have other players be seen on the map. So, if that's possible, spoofers can teleport to you, and then you could trade with them.
They'll be right outside your window. Creepy.
Yeah, but like they're not there, and
Just
then people
floating. You're gonna look
are gonna
outside. Where
know
are
they're
you?
being shared by spoofers.
It's a whole.
And it's just gonna be a huge problem.
You know, you're learning life lessons now, Jenna. This is how the real world works. Pokemon Go is like the economy, and people cheat and steal and lie, and they ruin the economy for everybody.
Yeah.
So
Thanks, Pokemon Go.
yeah, so they're actually doing you a service because now you're learning how the real world works. So that's interesting. That
But I don't want the game to be like
yeah,
that.
the game is our fantasy. So it'd be nice if it was more fair and everyone played by the rules.
Now let's get away from the real world.
So yeah, that's interesting that people online. Oh, of course, though they would have different opinions and go back and forth and stuff like that. Just stay.
Like I've on my Twitter, I've had back and forth for like ever and ever and ever, and it's ridiculous.
Are these people you know, or people like you don't know?
I don't know.
That's weird. Do you have like I don't use Twitter so much. I occasionally, but do you engage? Talk a lot with people you don't know? Is that usual for you?
Not on Instagram. Instagram's all my friends and stuff. But Twitter is, I feel like, more open because it's easy, simple, and it's easy to communicate, So, like, even on your home Twitter page or whatever you would call it, you still see things from other people that you don't follow. So, like, other people are gonna find it. Like, you could just search up the hashtag and you can find it, So it's more open than Instagram, where you could do private and stuff. I don't know if you could do private, but I really don't want to do private on Twitter because I communicate. Like, my Twitter is basically Pokemon Go. Like, I talk about like random Pokemon Go stuff, and I like to communicate more on there.
I see.
Because I think it's more easy.
Yeah, so you're using Twitter like more like an open like platform for like yelling out loud kind of thing. And Instagram is more like personal diary sharing with friends kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's cool. I think that's a really cool way to have it, like different feelings. I'm not talking to my phone. Let's start my phone. I'm not talking to you, Siri. Okay. So that's cool. That's neat. So that's the past. Now we're gonna look into the future, and I want to look like far into the future, or just a few years into the future. And I like to do these things where we become futurologists. Have you ever heard of that? Futurologists?
No, but I pretty much know what it is.
It's a real word. It's someone who like thinks about the future or like predicts things, or just like deep thinking about the future. So I want to talk about like the future of like transportation and driving, because I think that's changed like a whole bunch just in the past few years. And you're young, you're going to enter your teens soon, so like this is something that's going to affect you. Like traditionally, kids, like teenagers, their whole dream was about like driving, right? Like turn 16, get a license, go to the drive-in movies, race.
Get a brand new convertible. Woo!
Ooh, is that your dream car?
No.
But
I was just saying, like,
I know you're
like brand new convertible.
Yeah, that was Barbie's dream car. So like, but I think transportation's changed, like especially driving recently, because there are things like Lyft and Uber, which are, it's social, it's web technologies affecting our real world stuff. What are your experiences using like those kind of ride sharing things? When have you used them?
The only time I've really used them was when we went to Vegas to get around, because, like, of course, we don't have our car. I don't live in Vegas. I wish I did. That would be lit. But anyway, to like get around Vegas.
Yeah, so at that time we were just using like Lyft and stuff. And do you remember like how it was? Like you open up your app, you call the Lyft, it comes. It's all like you could see the driver, and it's all handled credit cards, and it's so easy.
Yeah.
Like it makes you wonder, like in question, like do I want to buy a car? Do I want to invest in insurance and gas and repairs and all those things? Like, okay, so are you interested in driving so much?
Not really, just because like using a car is easy. Well, sort of. But I think like I would rather use a train just because I'm scared of car crashes. Like I know, like
I understand.
They're common, but they're not like common or like
They're
at 7-Eleven right now, and I will probably not get in a car crash.
right.
But like there's a possibility. Like it also has to do with people who it also has to do with the people who give the persons a license, because they'll be like, "Oh, you only ran one light. You could get your driver's license." You know?
So
Like,
yeah, it's a really good point. Like, I mean, actually, car accidents are not uncommon, right? Like they happen,
yeah.
and I think most drivers get into like at least a little car accident probably in their life. Like it's actually kind of common, and it is scary because it's just about almost anyone can drive. Like so that is makes you really think. But you and I are both in different situations because like I'm in the city, but you're in the suburbs.
Yeah.
So I'm lucky enough to have access to buses and trains, like basically 24 hours. And we do have a lot of Lyft and Uber here, so like it's pretty affordable. But like for you, you don't have that as much out there in the burbs. Like you have no trains and you have buses like occasionally.
Yeah, and I mean, I've never really thought about like this, just because like I don't know, I'm 11.
Yeah,
But
you got time.
But
We're being futurologists.
I've been like I don't see myself really living like in the suburbs where I'm living now. Like I see myself living in Chicago or like downtown or stuff like that, which will, like, I'm not gonna need a train or I'm not gonna need an Uber like right now, just because once again I'm 11. But when I move out and like I have a house and stuff, I don't know if I'll either be getting a car or using trains or not even have my driver's license.
So here's what's interesting is by the time you are that age and moving out, like cars are going to be very different things, because I don't know if you noticed, but so much is being like done with, because we're talking about technology, like driverless cars. Do you know about those?
Oh my gosh, I've heard about this for like the past 3 years.
Yeah,
none of them have ever come out, and
okay, why do you think none of
and
them
I
have come
wouldn't
out?
trust those.
Why
I would not
wouldn't you trust? We're a podcast about technology. Why don't you trust the technology?
I mean, I just see like cars right now are having trouble. Like just with like a simple rear view camera. That might not even work. How am I going to trust a car driving me downtown without me behind the wheel? Well, not me, but
the dumbest part of the car is the person. Don't you think so?
Yeah.
Like if here's the thing, it has to be all the cars. We can't have some cars without drivers and some cars with drivers, because then that won't work. But like, what if all the cars were automatic, no drivers, and they were all timed and ran by computers and sensors and GPS?
Well, first I'd have to see. Well, when that eventually happens, I'll probably like be an adult. Well, maybe not. It depends, but like I don't really know. So I would have to see how safe it is first, just because like that can easily, like, all of a sudden break down on the road.
But if the car broke down, it would give a signal to the other cars to tell them, hey, I'm broke down. Don't run into me.
Oh.
So there's only been... No, there's a lot to think about. It's good to talk about because there's been... Last year was the first time somebody died from a driverless car.
Really? I didn't even know that those existed yet.
Yeah, it's a feature where like the car drives itself, and every like few minutes you have to put your hands on the wheel to tell it that you're still there, because it's kind of like assisted driving. But there are cars that are like starting to drive themselves, and the car has cameras, and it didn't see a truck where the truck was like painted very similar to the color of the sky, and the sun was really shining on it, and it kind of tricked the camera to the point where the car didn't know there was a truck there, and a car hit the truck, and it was really bad. So
that has to do with it too, because like if you just buy like a light blue car, that's like and you have like no one behind the wheel, I think that's really dangerous.
So it is. It's not perfect. It's going to take a long time for it to get good, and I do think it's better if all the cars had technology in it and they could all talk to each other. It's like, airplanes, like they fly themselves like 95% of the time.
Yes, don't they like flick a switch and it's like auto or something?
Yeah, and the pilots are there for like the takeoff and the landing and some adjustments, but they mostly fly themselves. So if they could do that with planes, I think they could figure it out with cars. Imagine a day where you get out of your house, you get in your car, you type in where you want to go, and then you just play on your phone the rest of the time while your car takes you there.
Like, I mean, that would be nice, but like, you never know what can happen. Like, would you either like take a train, be pretty safe, like really safe, or would you rather? I mean, if depends on how good it gets, but like, would you try to risk your life trying to get to your school?
It's a good question. Yeah, I think they have to be like, they really have to prove that they're really, really safe, like 99% safe. And I think they have to like create a little fake town and try it out in like one town for like a few years. I think.
Yeah.
I have more confidence in computers than people, though. So I think.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
I still think that there's going to be horrible accidents, like in everything. I mean, in trains, there's horrible accidents sometimes. Trains have had like a couple hundred years to figure out. So the technology.
Yeah, but like I think trains are much safer.
Yeah,
even though they've had accidents, but like I can't believe I've never thought I've been saying it, but like I mean I've been on a train with you and stuff, and I really think that trains are. I feel more safe when I get in a train rather than me getting into the car.
No, I would agree with you. I would agree with you because it's more controlled. The experience is more controlled because you're on a track and it just knows what to do, kind of thing. And it's got one driver and he just has to make sure everything's going okay. But that's similar to like cars. Like if 3 cars are at a red light today and the light turns green, the first car starts to go, and then the second car starts to go after. And then after that, the third car starts to go, right? And let's say that takes like 8 seconds. But if those 3 cars were controlled by computers, as soon as the light turns green, all 3 can start going at the same time because they would know the other ones are going in front of it.
Yeah.
So like it would become more like trains.
But yeah, but like okay, so like we've had some technical difficulties right now, like during the podcast.
Yeah.
That can give up like so easily. So if one gives up so easily, it's gonna be bad. Because then, example, as you said, 3 cars. One starts to go, the middle one breaks down, the third one will probably connect to the first car and just run right into the second car.
Yeah, that's true. If we can't get our Wi-Fi to work, how are we going to get the cars to work?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. It's definitely, I think they're doing a lot of work in it right now. Like companies like Ford, they're putting billions of dollars into it. Like it's probably gonna happen just because when the companies start to put their money in it, that means they kind of they're betting that it's gonna happen. They're betting their own companies on the fact that it's probably gonna happen. It needs to be like really good and really safe. So if it was safe and it was really good, would you be okay with just like never really driving on your own?
I don't know, because I can't say exactly right now, because like I've never driven a car, but I mean, it's I don't know what to say.
No, it's okay.
I don't know.
It's worth thinking about like in the future to see what comes.
As I said before, like 3 cars, one just rams into the other because, like, a couple episodes ago, like, we were talking about something, I don't remember what, but you mentioned, like, someone did something behind, like, Amazon, and it, like, stopped working.
Yeah.
The car would be working, like, well, not, like, man behind a machine, but, like, man, like, they would have to, like, control it from somewhere else, What if they screw up?
Right. There's always somebody who could screw up. I agree with you. I think that there will be problems, but I still believe that people behind computers make less mistakes than people behind car wheels, like steering wheels.
Yeah.
So, but it does take a lot of us trusting the machine. Yep.
Yeah, it does. If this were to happen, would you start driving? And like, you wouldn't really need like a what are those called? Where you go and get your license, car tests, whatever. Yeah. You wouldn't need that, but like, would you start driving if?
So would I get a car that drives itself?
Yes. If you completely trusted it.
I think I would subscribe to like a service that let you use them whenever you needed them. Like I wouldn't own one, but I would pay like a monthly, like couple $100 to when I want one will show up in front of my house. Like a shared auto car. Because if I'm not driving it and I'm not customizing it, and if I don't care as much, like, then I'll just use any of them, like.
Yeah. Like, you also have to think about, like, the seasons, because, like, are you really gonna walk to the train without a car in the winter? Well, I mean,
do it
can.
now.
Like, a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
but, like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, in the very cold winter and in the very hot summer is the times when I most regret not having a car. Like, I could get everywhere else I want to go on the train and the bus, but at those times it's like, oh, I can't do this. But now that there's Lyft, and it's much more affordable than how taxis used to be,
yes,
like, it kind of evens out. Like, I'm saving money pretty much getting to go everywhere I want to go by just using Lyft occasionally. I don't have the freedom. Like, I can't take a road trip to Milwaukee,
Yeah.
And that would be an expensive Lyft drive.
Well, that you have to think about too. So, like, if I wanted to drive to Milwaukee or Baraboo, Wisconsin, would I trust a car for that? Because are there trains for that can go really far like that?
So, I mean, there's trains that go across the whole country. It's a different train than the local. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's a different train than the local, and it's different than the Metro. It's like cross-country trains. And, we're talking about technology, and you're talking about how much you dig trains. Like, I spent 2 years living in Japan, the country that has, like, the best freaking trains in the world. They have trains that travel at, like, I forgot how much, like, 180 miles per hour. Bullet. It's called bullet. They're called bullet trains.
What?
And they get from my town. I was in Osaka to Tokyo in like 2 hours and 20 minutes, and that should by car it's like 8 hours.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Did you take a train?
I took.
Oh yeah, you didn't have a car there.
Yeah, so I took trains every day, and the regular trains are much better too, and they use much more technology, and they're much better about computer timing and control. Where the trains come at the same exact minute every day, like you can set your watch to the same train, and
Okay.
they're never late, and they're known for that. They're like the top train country in the world, and they're the leaders in like technology and developing new train systems. And it's cool, like little kids use the train there, like kids as young as like 8 years old use the train by themselves. And
I cannot use the train by myself.
and of course it's a safer country, but they have like, here's more technology. The kids have a special like pass that has this cool keychain, and whenever they scan to go in through the gate, it sends a message to their parents like, oh, your son went through the north gate at the station.
Oh.
And then
I like that because that's safe.
And then when they leave thetheir exit, it'll just scan again. And when they get home, they have like this like portal on the wall, and they tap it to the wall, and it tells the parents, "Oh, your kid's home."
That's cool. Like that, I think my parents would like trust me to go on the train if that had that. But we don't like take note, USA. Like
Very true.
Oh,
yeah.
And guys, if you want Tony to take me to Japan so I can experience this internet, comment. Oh wait, no. Tell me. I don't know.
They could you know what? We should start telling people to go
comment below.
To go to iTunes and search Say What Radio. I mean, what's our show called? I Teach You the Internet. And review us. Do you know people can review us?
Oh, really?
Yeah, and if they review us and they give us awesome ratings that we deserve, we will get we'll bubble up a little higher in the stew that is the iTunes podcast store, which I think they renamed to Apple Podcasts. It's not iTunes Podcasts anymore.
I don't know. I'm not an Apple user.
I know. So. They sent us an email though, hey, start to use these words, and here's some badges and icons, and we're rebranding. And I'm like, we're not promoting ourselves. We need you guys to go to iTunes, leave us a review. That'll really help promote the show. There.
Leave us a review and comment there. I don't know.
Yeah, they could comment. So, yeah, and then after we get 1 million listeners, we'll probably have enough money to go to Japan, and you could ride the trains. And we'll do shows. We'll do live shows from Japan. We'll record there.
Oh, that would be so cool. That would be so cool. That would be lit. Imagine the fire emoji in your mind right now.
I can't even handle it. So, I think we did a good job being futurologists today. Talking about driving and trains.
Very fun.
What I want people to do in their future is to subscribe to I Teach You the Internet on iTunes and spread the word. SayWhatRadio.com. Do you have anything else you want people to do in the future?
Write a review. Give us 5-star ratings or whatever.
I like it.
Tell us if you want more podcasts and stuff. I don't know.
Did I set up? You know what? I think I set us up with an email that I totally forgot. So I got to figure it out because that's what we need to do. We're going to start a blog or something so we could have people commenting and emailing stuff. Where's that email?
Yeah, so,
dang it.
So you're trying to find that or whatever. So make sure you go to SayWhatRadio.com, iTunes or any podcast app. Look up I Teach You the Internet and write a review so we can go to Japan. That's the reason.
Yeah, very long tail here. Oh my gosh, I don't know.
It might take us couple of years, but we can go to Japan. Please.
We'll have to start a Kickstarter or Patreon. Okay, that's it. That's your homework. I'm gonna find the podcast, the email, and then we'll use it next week. So everybody's got to tune in.
Okay.
Suspenseful. See you next week, Jenna. I hope you get a Porygon next week like I did. Say bye.
I only hatched Grimers from that event. So, alright, bye.